Alright everybody, before we begin, take a moment to like this video and subscribe. If you're drawn to quiet stories, the kind that don't yell at you for your attention, but wait patiently for you to listen, look, this channel is about slowing down and sitting with the stories that linger. Violet Evergarden is one of those stories. Now listen, I know I haven't covered a lot of anime on here before, but I thought this would be a fun one to jump into. Now, don't do what I did. Make sure to watch the show in order with the films. I made the blunder of just driving straight through the series, and I didn't realize there were movies that are supposed to follow in between, and don't do what I did. It's a mess, okay? Look it up, follow the order online appropriately, and you'll probably end up with a better outcome than me. So, we live in a world that is loud and increasingly short on empathy. I think we can all agree on that. Now, Violet Evergarden moves in the opposite direction. It speaks softly and asks you to wait patiently. This is not a show you consume and move on from. It's a story about loss and healing, acts of reaching out to one another, sometimes with nothing more than just a letter. Now, what do the words "I love you" mean? Those are the last words spoken to Violet by Major Gilbert before he disappears and is assumed dead. For most people, those words are very comforting. For Violet, they are a mystery. She was raised as a weapon, not as a person. She knows how to follow orders, but not how to feel. And so her journey becomes a search for meaning, not just in those words, but in herself. And Violet Evergarden is not a story about war. It is a story about what remains after the war is over, and what do we do to rebuild from it. Now, when we first meet Violet, she's something sharp and hollow, a former child soldier shaped by violence and defined by obedience. War gave her direction, but it took something else. When the fighting ends, there are no commands left for her to follow, only memories, guilt, and a world that expects her to live. Now her prosthetic arms tell a story without words, their cold metal replacing what was lost, a constant reminder of destruction, and yet these same hands now hold paper, ink, and carry the emotions of others. They are symbols of the past she cannot escape, and a future she is still learning how to understand. Now, as an auto-memory doll, Violet writes letters for those who cannot find the words. Love that was never spoken, apologies that came too late, grief too heavy to carry alone. Letters become bridges. They're fragile and necessary. In a world fractured by war, they are small acts that help connect life. And there's something quite devastating about this transformation. A girl that was once taught to end lives now dedicates herself to helping people connect. The same hands that once followed orders now learn how to listen and heal. Now, each letter Violet writes is an act of patience and care. She studies the pauses between words, the weight of what goes unsaid, and slowly through the emotions of others, she begins to recognize her own language. Love, loss, forgiveness, regret. Writing becomes more than communication. It becomes her way back to being human and understanding her healing and trauma. And the series understands this trauma. Violet does not heal quickly. She does not heal cleanly. Her pain lives in silence, in the memories that return without warning. Healing here is not a destination. It is a process shaped by time, repetition, and kindness. Now, the power in this show is how it deeply connects with community, with the idea that healing happens in proximity to others. Veterans, families, co-workers, strangers, all carrying wounds the world cannot see. No one is magically fixed. Instead, they stay, they listen, they bear witness. Connection grows slowly. This show refuses to romanticize war. It lingers in the quiet aftermath. And that's its power, in the empathy the unanswered letters, the lives forced to redefine themselves when their purpose is taken away. It reminds us that survival is not the same as living, and that peace does not arrive all at once. And I think that's why Violet Evergarden feels really necessary right now. In a time where empathy feels scarce, where we rush to speak and forget how to listen, this series asks us to slow down, to pay attention, to understand that empathy is not an instinct, it is practice. It is something we choose again and again, and it takes work to be kind. It takes work to understand one another. These are not easy things to do. And at its heart, Violet Evergarden asks a simple question. How do we live to learn when you are only taught to survive? Violet's journey is not about forgetting the past, but about carrying it gently. By helping others speak their hearts, she learns how to heal on her own. Violet Evergarden is tender, devastating, and profoundly human. A reminder that even after immense loss, connection is still possible. And sometimes it begins with just a single letter. Now, if Violet Evergarden stayed with you, I'd love to hear why. Maybe it was a moment that broke your heart, or a letter that felt painfully familiar. Share your thoughts below. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. This show was very powerful, and there were certain stories in it and certain episodes that really stick with people. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe down below for more reflections on film and storytelling, stories about humanity, connection, and emotional truth. Until next time, take care, and remember, listening can be an act of love, people. Also, don't forget to check out some of my other projects. Transient, our feature film, sci-fi, drama, heavy, psychologically intense, maybe. Go check it out. It's streaming everywhere. People love it. I shouldn't have to tell you that. It's getting good reviews. Go watch it. Support our project. If you're in the podcast, my podcast, Bad Movie Night, is about to hit. It's crazy. 10 years, I think we said the other night. 10 years we've been doing Bad Movie Night podcasts. We have a great community. If you love terrible movies, if you love that feeling of hanging out with others and chatting about them, then this is a podcast for you. We stream live on YouTube. We're on every podcast platform. We have a Patreon membership. For $2 a month, you can sign up and join our Slack and hang out with us. It's a great time. I recommend it. It's a fun community. Check it out. If you want something a little more serious, I have another podcast called Self-Identities, Conversations with Convicted Women. We are very close to launching the 3rd season. We go into maximum security prisons and talk to women who are facing life sentences. It's very heavy, very raw, and I think it's powerful stuff, so please check that out as well. I'm AJ. Until next time, take care. Stop back soon. I'll have more stuff coming your way. Believe me, it's been a cold winter, all right? I'm just trying to survive out here, all right? I'm sure you understand. The East Coast is like frozen right now. It's awful. I'll see you later.